Breaking now. President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first medbed hospitals and a national medbed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own medbed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength. This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very soon.
I have to just open with asking about medbeds. Medbeds, my friend. Donald Trump on Truth Social tweeted a video that was AI of him announcing medbeds for every American, which are all healing, almost like tanning beds that you lie in and suddenly you're cured. And I was doing a little bit of, reading on it, and it seems like it's connected to the QAnon conspiracy. Mm-hmm. He has since deleted that, which is actually strange because he doesn't delete a lot. But can you just medbeds, MAHA, conspiracies? Have you heard of medbeds before?
Well, we've done full episodes on them, spirituality, back in 2020 or 2021, because a lot of the origins of our podcast was covering QAnon, what was going on in that world, because the intersection in wellness was often running through QAnon and those message boards. And medbeds was along with anti-vax 5G. Medbeds was one of the first ones once lockdowns began. And the difference is in this video, you actually get a visual of them because they were just philosophical before. I don't think people really drew them or made videos. AI wasn't there yet. So this one, you had the whole healing facility, but it's just what the video says. It's this idea that you can just enter this chamber of a bed and be healed of whatever ails you. And it's the furthest reaches of sort of this wellness utopia that perpetually exists. This idea that we can heal ourselves in some way. The only difference is this is a technology. And there's always an interesting intersection between the technologies that wellness people embrace and then the ones that they think are either evil or they deny any validity to. And medbeds somehow crossed over into being something. But the funny thing is, it was never a big one. It never really caught on because people saw how ridiculous it was. So when he shared that and I found out about that, I was like, first of all, 2020's calling. And the fact, I think it was Seth Meyers last night written a whole clip on it. And he was like, does Trump think he actually said those things when he shared it? And I just don't know.
Yeah, no, the medbeds thing is like, we've been so poison pilled around not having universal health care. The conspiracy theorists are like, nah, rather than making insurance companies cover everybody or getting universal health care, the more realistic thing is to have a bed that meds you and also makes you tanner, as RFK Jr. and everybody participates in. So yeah, that was just absolute nonsense. The other thing though that happened today was that Trump announced Trump RX, which might not be as much nonsense. It allows Americans to buy meds directly from the government at arguably, allegedly lower costs. They're like figuring out how to implement. Apparently Pfizer's all on board, which I thought HHS hated Pfizer. I thought Pfizer was the enemy. The Pfizer shot is supposed to be harmful to children. Tell me about what you know about Trump RX and whether you think this will even happen.
I correlate it to what MAHA has done with food dyes, and I know you might want to talk about that as well, but it's being put forward as this breakthrough win when all it is, and let me say this, if it actually happens, I'm all for it, but it's not nearly what they're presenting it to be. So basically, Trump apparently made a deal with Pfizer that he's going to do a favored nations deal, meaning that wherever Pfizer sells these particular drugs in other countries, the US will get it at the lowest rate, which would be huge.
Because
huge. Something like insulin, we pay like 5 to 10 times more than the next closest nation pays for it. This has always been a problem. I saw someone comment that it's just basically ripping off Mark Cuban's idea with cost plus, which is completely true. The thing that I'm concerned about is that it's just with one company. He sent letters to 17 other pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
It's all leveraging for his tariff ideas, because that's all he really has at his disposal when he wants to leverage with international, or Pfizer's American, but like the American, they're building facilities here. That was part of the deal as well. And I'm all for bringing manufacturing here, especially if it's going to mean reduced cost for Americans and jobs. That's fine. But it's also specific to just certain drugs for Medicaid patients. Now, those are the patients that need the interventions the most at the lowest cost. So that's great, but it's not for all Americans.
Yep.
So again, you have this very small deal that he's trying to pretend is going to, it's the same thing RFK Jr. did with food dyes. If I make a deal with one company, all the other ones are just going to follow suit, which hasn't been happening. And so right now, I would say if that win turned into something bigger, I think it would actually be helpful.
Sure.
We'll see.
Sure. No. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. I actually, just put out a piece about the pronatalism movement, which does have intersections with MAHA and, the health insanity and the white nationalism that runs through it. And talking about IVF and the fact that Trump also promised something that most Americans want, which is, God, at least insurance companies would pay for IVF. But he said on the campaign trail, the United States government will roll out IVF programs, that this is going to happen. Nothing has happened. There has been absolutely no movement on it. And in fact, as I'm sure you've covered, MAHA doesn't believe in IVF. They are very much into something called like restorative reproductive healing, which is basically like, you're eating too many, seed oils, or you're eating red 40 or whatever the hell they think it is, to blame people for their own inability to have children. And so you don't need fertility meds and all that's blah. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this Trump RX stuff, and again, I'd like to see it happen. I mean, I'm not going to say like, well, that's okay. You can keep on, arresting nonviolent immigrants if you do this. But I would love to see a thing that he sort of, populism whispers to the American public. I would like him to do one of those things. At least it would give Democrats a little bit of like, well, maybe I got to do something like that too,
Well, it's also at a time when Hakeem Jeffries is out, which is just complete garbage, but he's out talking about universal health care. It's cognitively dissonant from the subject at hand, which is the government shutdown. But the fact that he's out on the steps talking about that, it might have provoked something here. Yeah.
It's true. It's the same thing of, in 2016 when Bernie's running and Bernie's like universal health care, and then Trump, truly well into the campaign, kind of lifts that language, but makes it dumber and Trumper and just says like, you're going to have something better than Obamacare. It'll be great. It'll be better. And it's like, we still have yet to see the plans, or what was it? The ideas for a plan, as in 2024 when he was running. So like, we'll see with Trump RX, but it's like, the one thing I will give him is putting your name on it is kind of a stroke of genius. Again, one of the things I covered in the pronatalism piece was the Trump baby bonuses. And it's like, it's a disgustingly brilliant name. It's probably not going to happen and wouldn't amount to much money, but good for you to put your name on it.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.